All right, everybody, it's 8 o'clock, so you know what time it is. It's time so sad for the season finale of the 2016 Haunt season for HauntScene Live. So there is no like big intro or map or movie or any of that stuff. It's just, stuff.
Us. It's just us.
It's just us. There's nothing left to talk about. So this episode is just, we're going to call it the Haunt Hangover. We're just going to do a very quick recap of some of the haunts that we were able to do. Let's just say the show, whether Kira did it or I did it, that still counts, or some of these we were able to do together. I think at last count I did like 26 haunts, or like 26 and a half. 27, something in there. So any sort of like haunted experience I consider a haunt. So I did a lot of things. So if you're watching the show maybe for the first time or catching the replay here, there are many haunts beyond Horror Nights, even though we're going to start there. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So I'm Johnny Bronto. So thank you guys for joining us or watching the replay here with me as usual this season is Kira.
Hi. I know. So sad.
So it's sad. I'll admit I'm kind of limping across the finish line by the time that because they had extended Horror Nights to last weekend. It ended on Saturday night, and I closed it out. I didn't even leave there till like 2 a.m. I didn't get home till like 3, so I was there till the bitter end.
Well, because you always have to save for the last Bill and Ted show. It's totally my tradition.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, you have to. You have to go, and it's funny too because when you go for the last Bill and Ted, which is the comedy show at Horror Nights, they tend to go off script a lot, and a lot of us have seen the show so many times that we know the lines, and it was epic. Like it's always just super epic and amazing. So it's a really good way to get a send off for that particular event.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we might go a little bit over tonight just because we got a lot of stuff to talk to. But normally we try to keep the show condensed to an hour. So let's just go ahead and lead off with Horror Nights. So Horror Nights 26 is now in the books, and how do you feel about it now that it's over with, Kira?
I'm actually really sad that Horror Nights is over with, but that's mostly because I've been obsessed with Horror Nights for such a long time. And it was just something about this year that I'm happy that they extended it, but I'm also sad as well because you could tell that there was definitely a difference on the two extended night from the rest of the event. So in a way, it's like we kind of got two final nights. We had on Halloween was the final night of the regular run, and then Saturday was the final night of everything.
The entire thing. Yeah, it was just, I mean, the streets weren't as populated. I mean, not everybody anticipated the event getting extended, and, it was good. It was kind of like you had a finale and a half, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was a good year. Now, I will admit, toward kind of in the beginning and maybe in the middle, I was kind of having trouble attaching to the event, and I think there are some reasons for that. But really towards the end, I got that love back for the event, and it really kind of bummed me out when it was over, because that's like the end of the season. So,
oh, I just thought of something. I won't get to go through American Horror Story anymore.
No.
Oh.
So that was actually my favorite house this year.
Oh, it was mine too.
Yeah.
But then again, I love American Horror Story, so it was one of those I'm just like, yeah, totally lost count how many times I did that house by myself.
It was one of probably the busiest house by far this year. As I've kind of alluded to a couple times in some conversations I've had with some folks, there were a couple things I think I missed the boat on this year that made me not as attached to the event as I was. Had a good time. I'm not gonna say I didn't have a good time, but normally I really like to get the full experience, and I normally do like the tour, the what do they call it? The Unmasking the Horror Tour. And I
Yeah,
usually do it like the
Unmasking the
first
Horror.
weekend. Because right then, I get to see all the little Easter eggs and get to know all the little, behind the scenes stuff. And that way, as I go through the event throughout the season, when I bring people or I hang out with people, I could point things out. And being that sort of like, tour guide really attaches me to the event. Well, unfortunately, this year, after the second or third week, they didn't allow photos, and that was right about the time that I was about to take my tour. So let's hope that that's a 1 year only hiccup, and any IP or any sort of house based on a movie or a show in the future, hopefully that they understand that they're going to be bringing the tours through. So I'm hoping it was a 1 year thing without the photos.
Well, we'll see you next year.
Yeah, we'll see you next year at a Horror Nights 27. I see a lot of folks on Facebook, they're already like speculating like what's going to be there next year. So I don't even want to take a stab at it. It's too soon. Just let it breathe a little bit.
I personally feel that after Horror Nights ends, granted, the brilliant minds who work on the event, they've already started planning for next year.
Mm-hmm.
They probably started planning the moment they finished up last year.
Maybe even before then.
Who knows? But it's definitely one of my dreams to work on stuff for the event, so maybe one day they'll come true. If not, I will still report about it and still enjoy it, because that's how obsessed I am with the event. But I feel that we should at least give it a couple of months before we start speculating. I mean, they still don't have everything torn down yet, as far as I know.
I know, right? So, yeah. So, usually from what I was told, it takes a couple days to tear everything down. I won't be back in the park for a while because it's too hard. And I'm calling this the Haunt Hangover this episode because we're going to do a recap. But really, a lot of us, I think, suffer from like a post-haunt kind of depression. And I think about that every year. Like, it hits people pretty hard. And I think it's a lot of times it's, getting to see all your friends every night, getting to do all the houses, kind of being, you're really like, don't take this the wrong way, but you're really like, your senses are like stimulated. And this goes on for like the better part of 2 months now. I mean, this year was almost 2 months long. And when you go from such a high to a complete drop off a cliff, that's gonna be it's hard to, people don't understand.
No, I mean, it's one of those, you're seeing the same people for like 2 months, and you become family, and it's all of a sudden it's like, well, nope, sorry, we're gonna split ways for a little bit.
For 10.5 months about.
Sometimes, yeah. Unless, a lot of them do Macy's, and then they're like, hey!
Yeah, well, I don't have a lot of those connections that you do, but it was nice. I met a few characters this year, and it was nice to see a lot of people on the last night and tell them how much of a fan I was, and a lot of them are very appreciative, and they really brought it. Like, you would think after about the better part of 2 months this year, everybody would just be exhausted. And no, I mean, even up until the last bit, I think everybody was going full throttle for whatever they could do.
Oh my gosh. Like, for example, there were a couple of characters in Vamp 55. I mean, I think they were on the same cast, but one of them looked like they were from the 50s and constantly dancing. And then another one who was one of my favorites to watch was one of the bowler vampires that I actually ended up getting a selfie with, because I was like, I have to make sure I get a photo with you. Because the last 2 nights, and even on Halloween, I was running around trying to get photos of course, my friends, and then some of my favorite scare actors. I'm disappointed I didn't get a photo with one of my favorite Bubbas, but oh well.
It's always next year.
Yeah, always next year.
I think one of the plans I have, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later for season 3, is I think we're going to do some like recorded bits. Like, we're going to film some things, like how to actually interact with this character and get pictures properly and not stalk them, because there's a lot of stalking going on with the characters, and I feel kind of sad. Yeah, I know, right? Like these people have lives, especially like, I don't know. It's one thing to compliment somebody, it's another thing to stalk them. So, yeah. All right, we'll get to that a little bit later. So, Horror Nights, let's just go ahead and say American Horror Story, my favorite house. What do you think?
American Horror Story was definitely my favorite out of all the houses. but that's also because one, I'm a huge fan.
Hmm.
Two, I lost count how many times I went through that house, particularly with one of the cast. Sorry guys, but y'all were amazing, and not just because I knew some people in it, but everyone else in that house was amazing. Yeah. And then I'm trying to think. The originals, Ghost Town was still my favorite.
See, I like Tomb. I thought the set design in Ghost Town was really amazing, but um, I wish there were more scares in it. Like, it was cool, but like I really like the claustrophobic atmosphere of Tomb myself. So I think our opinions differ a little bit. I liked Ghost Town a lot. I thought it was really good for an original house. But I like Tombs. I did. I like Tomb of the Ancients.
Tomb was very pretty, but my only problems was one, they relied on that like drop down noise.
Yeah, that was.
Two,
Yeah.
you were like this going through, trying to move stuff out of the way. And three, every time I went through that house, even when I was walking slow, because it got to the point to where I really took my time. And even then, they were still trying to rush me through. So there were actual scenes being played out that you never really fully got to
Right.
experience.
Yeah, so that was good. Now, in addition to Bill and Ted, which I think kind of gained steam as it went through, a lot of folks I talked to, when they saw Bill and Ted this year, they're kind of like, in the beginning. I think it kind of picked up a little bit as it went. I mean, not my opinion. I'm just saying,
Well,
like, people I've talked to.
no, and it's one of those two. I know when I first saw it, I was like a little on the fence, but me being a huge Bill and Ted Excellent Halloween Adventure, I'm like, you know what? I can't judge it by the first few episodes,
Right.
the first performances. I have to see how it progresses through the time. And I know I was getting used to a new actor playing Ted,
Hmm.
so that was also
He did
a
a good
shock,
job.
not only for me, but for other people. And I ended up like he did an amazing job, and it was one of those like shout out because you had a lot of like pressure put
Yeah,
on
big
you
shoes to
living
fill.
up to the person who played Ted before you, and huh, you know what? If you're watching this, dude, you blew it out of the water. Like it was a really good job.
Yeah. Yeah, and as I said earlier, it was the finale was just epic. It was just it always is. It's just amazing, and the crowd was great, and it was a good time. Now, what was I going to mention here with Horror Nights? There was something I wanted to just say a moment ago.
While you're thinking of it, I actually kind of ranked the houses by how many times I went through them.
I
And
don't. I would not want to do that.
well, that's kind of what I did just because it was a little bit easier. But of course, my top one was American Horror Story. My bottom one was The Walking Dead. Halloween actually went up there towards the end because I ended up getting a chance to going through that a few times, and still kudos to Dumpster Michael and of
Dumpster
course,
Michael.
and there was one time I actually got to go through and it was by myself, so that was amazing. And of course, it's like, ooh, less than 5 minute wait, let's do it again.
Yeah, the last weekend of the event, it was not busy at all when they extended it. So I wonder if they're gonna have incentive to extend it again. We'll see.
Who knows?
So it was good. Horror Nights was good. Now, once again, one of the things with this particular year, and it's not this year's fault, but when you come off a pull out all the stops anniversary year, you have to kind of reset the bar down a little bit. And I'm not saying that it wasn't a good event. It's just we're coming off a ridiculous year last year, and I think it held its own. Like I said, as time went on, it did kind of grow on me a little bit. I will be honest, I didn't go as much as I normally do. Normally with my Freak of Fear Plus, I'm there like every night. This year, I wasn't there every night. I would say I know it was more than half the nights, but I wasn't there like every night like I normally was. So maybe I was just taking a break. But I feel like I got my money's worth. So I guess that's that's the good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about here, so let's talk about the repository.
Oh my gosh.
This was like there were 9 houses at Horror Nights this year. This was like the 10th house. This was an upcharge experience, had virtual reality in it, a lot of interactions. Very, very cool. Now, I did this early in the event, and Kira actually just did this recently, so maybe we can compare a couple notes.
It was one of those that I was fortunate enough to be a guest of a whole like media, because they did giveaways and stuff like that for it. So that's how I had the opportunity to do it, and I am so happy that I did. It was so amazing. Of course, if you're a fan of Legendary Truth, like having all that interactive, like it was one-on-one, because I went in and it was just myself and my friend. So it was us two. We weren't put with anyone else. I guess it's because we won like the media passes or whatever.
Fancy.
But yeah, very fancy.
Baller.
But it was so much fun. And I liked the interaction. Yes, I felt like they interacted with me more than with my friend. But then again, I was really playing along with them, just throwing myself in the storyline. And there was one of the, he was like, not a security officer, but kind of. He was I'm trying to remember of like the police stuff that they wear when they go in to do like heavy combat stuff like that. I can't remember the name of the position, but
SWAT?
That guy was, yes, similar to SWAT.
SWAT.
And that guy was amazing, because we ended up doing it at 6:00. So whoever the actors who was in that one, shout out to you guys, because you made that experience so much fun. And they were, when I did it, they were like, remember the colors. And doing the virtual reality part was really cool.
Yes, it was.
And going around, I think I was one of the few people who, as I was looking for the colors, I was actually saying the name of the legions as well. And then when one of the times when we got into, well, actually, no, it was when we got into, I like to call the padded room with the crazy guy. I looked and I kept on seeing, like, the first thing that popped into my mind when I saw it, I kept on seeing like L90, R30, like I kept on seeing those over and over again. And the moment the guy was saying, "Oh, key," I'm like, wait, that's the combination of the save.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Probably the best virtual reality I've ever experienced myself. It was $50. I feel as though I got my money's worth, but Kira and I like to interact, and I found that a lot of the interactive events this year, you have to, if you don't bring it, then if you just kind of show up and you don't interact, you're not really going to get your money's worth, which some people felt like it was a little, pricey, but I mean, I thought it was well worth it, because I
want them to bring it back so bad.
Yeah, so, maybe if they have, hopefully the 9 houses is the new standard. I can't see them really going backwards from that, but hopefully, we get a repository sequel. If they want to do an upcharge event every year, that'd be pretty cool. I'd be down. A lot of us play the Legendary Truth, which is kind of like a interactive game in the park, and we've had like years with like scavenger hunt type things and scanning a badge, getting points and playing games and all that, which is actually how Kira and I met, and this is like the next kind of iteration of that. And I think a lot of us miss the in-park stuff, but maybe the logistics just aren't there, but who knows. So
I love the fact that you also had that escape room element, so you're having to solve this, you're having to solve that. And by the time my friend and I kind of, no joke, I took charge. Sorry, Mauricio, I apologize for that. But you've known me for over 7 years, that when I go in with a mission of wanting to win, I'm going to take charge. And I think we ended up solving that last puzzle in less than 20 seconds. Like, they were surprised how quickly it was solved.
My group did it pretty good, but when you have experience with Legendary Truth, and you know the history and the colors and the factions, it helps, because I had to bail out a couple people myself. But we both succeeded. Escape games. Yeah, and it was fun. It was it wasn't just VR stuff. It was like several rooms of interaction, escape room type elements, interacting, feather duster in the face, all kinds of stuff. And
I didn't get it in the face. Mine was on the back of the neck.
Oh, I got it right in my open mouth, feather dust. At one point there are like these virtual birds that come and fly up at you, and they use the little feather duster to kind of give you a little bit of a, that experience. So it's pretty neat. All right, so repository is fun. Now I have to say that, and if you go back and watch the preview, I was not exactly 100% thrilled about Academy of Villains, but I will go ahead and say that it was my absolute favorite part of Horror Nights this year. It just was. I mean, I loved the Carnage Returns last year, the Jack and Chan show, but I loved Academy of Villains. I did it every night that I went. I watched the show, sometimes multiple times.
Oh yeah, no, I have to say, Universal Orlando, please, 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 if you are able to, and they have the freedom slash the time to do it, please bring back Academy of Villains, because it was an amazing, amazing
Yeah, it was
show.
good.
It was so many people loved it. I mean, and the fact that I actually showed a video that I think Inside the Magic, I believe, took it. And I showed it to Draco, and I actually got video of him dancing to it. I totally
cute.
uploaded it on Instagram, and not only did they like it, they commented on it, and it was just fabulous. Like,
Nice.
you have no idea. And now Draco knows a few dance moves that I didn't really wanna.
Yeah. Now, not to make everybody jealous, but I would afterwards, after a couple nights, they would get applause at the end of the show, and they would walk up behind the stage and walk along the Lair of the Banshees scare zone. And one night I just stopped and I saw them walking from the back of the stage, around or whatever, and I just stopped and I just started applauding right there, and I was like the only person clapping, and I felt like a complete idiot, but I actually did this multiple times, and other people would kind of join in just to kind of give them a second, another level of applause, because they were amazing. And to make everybody jealous, the last night, and this is what almost made my night. I actually was able to take a picture with my villain shirt on, with some of the characters from Academy of Villains, like the main character, whatever. And they were so nice. Like, some people you meet and you just tell that they're completely like benevolent and well-meaning people, and they were so nice and appreciative and humble, and it was awesome. And I kind of got my arm around them taking this picture, and they were like emanating heat. Like, I thought they were gonna like melt my hands off, because they were just like so like pumped up or whatever. And it was really kind of, it was a really cool experience. But they were so nice. I can't say enough about it. If you guys are watching, please come back. I also reiterated that when I was able to talk to them and meet them, and they're cool to talk to back and forth a little bit on Twitter and Instagram. So thank you guys for that. But please come back next year. I think everybody really enjoyed the show. So not a lot of people got pictures with them. So all right. So we're 25 minutes in, so we got to start kind of nailing some of these other haunts here. We're gonna be here all night long.
I got things that I have to do soon.
Yeah, so we're gonna get through it. So we're gonna go ahead and move away from Horror Nights and move on to the next one, which is gonna be Howl-O-Scream. Now, unfortunately, Kier wasn't able to attend Howl-O-Scream this year. We'll have to rectify that next year. I liked it. I had a lot of fun. Normally, I do this one twice a year. I did it the preview weekend and had a really good time. I ended up going by myself. Bought the Fright Feast. You get dinner, you get express, you get to go into the houses early. Rained like crazy for the first part of it. Liked the new houses. Had a really good time. So thank you guys for that. The Black Spot and Motel Hell, the two houses this year. Now next year they'll probably get some more new houses. So if you took this year off, you didn't go to Howl-O-Scream, you might want to check it out next year. I have a feeling that the at least, and you heard it here first, that the Circus of Superstition will probably be discontinued. They'll have a new house. And I think, finally, even though I love it, I have a feeling that Zombie Mortuary will also be put away. So expect a few new experiences at Howl-O-Scream. And one of the things that I didn't do previously at Howl-O-Scream in prior years was the upcharge experience. Like, they had Alone and the Experiment. And maybe they'll take a page out of Horror Nights' playbook and decide to have an upcharge event next year. So that'd be kind of cool. Although I did hear a rumor, and I'm hoping this isn't true, and somebody please confirm it if it isn't, that somebody said that Howl-O-Scream is looking to go Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween for like a kid event instead of this. Now, I heard that. I don't know if it's a reputable source. Maybe it's just somebody kind of steering the pot or whatever. But let's hope not, because Howl-O-Scream is really, really solid. And one thing about Howl-O-Scream versus Horror Nights, Horror Nights doesn't scare me anymore. I can't really remember any of the houses that actually like jumped out and got me this year. That's kind of rare. Howl-O-Scream, I think they're a little bit more aggressive there. I think they try a little bit harder. I'm hoping next year for Horror Nights that they really go back to trying making them a little bit scarier. I know we're going like super mainstream and there's like millions of people and it's the biggest Halloween event, whatever. But hopefully we get back to at least a couple basics and have a nice scary event. So, and these are theme park haunts and they put through thousands upon thousands of people. So I get it. But if you're looking to get scared, you might start needing to hit up the more independent haunts, which we did a lot of this year.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So theme park stuff. Good job, guys. We'll see you next year. But let's talk about some of the independent haunts. Now, a lot of folks who are maybe watching this or watching the replay, they don't do independent haunts. Now, Kira, before this year, had you done a lot of independent stuff?
Not in Florida, no.
So here. No, just before we get into them, just kind of an off the just kind of off the cuff opinion. What did you think of the independent haunts this year that we did?
I thought they were amazing. In fact, to me, they were on par with what you would experience in a theme park, only you get a lot more for a cheaper price because they can actually really interact with you and touch you and all this stuff. So it's one of those, if you have the time, definitely hit up independent haunts. They're a lot cheaper than the prices for, of course, the theme parks, and it's worth it. Yeah, I still can't get the whole, in Shallow Grave, for instance, I still cannot get the werewolf out of my head.
For the first year this year at Horror Nights, they offered what was called the what was it called? The Extreme Pass. What was the one that had the Ultimate Pass? And it charged extra money so you could go like every night, including Saturdays. Man, if people would just take that little bit of extra money and start doing independent haunts, you guys would have so much fun. I mean, Horror Nights is cool and all, but you're going to be there every night. Go out and do something different, man. There are lots of really great haunts that are totally worth it to round out your haunt season. So let's talk about Shallow Grave. Wearing the shirt. This is going to come up a little bit later. Now, I ended up doing the Shallow Grave 3 times this year, and it was awesome every single time. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Joe Phillips, the owner, name dropping like crazy in this episode. Joe Phillips, he can't stop tinkering with it, and every year it gets better and better and better and better. He, even though he had changed the end of the haunt last year, even though it hadn't been an entire year, he's already changed it again. And I have a feeling that there are more changes coming. So I had a really, really good time. I did this one 3 times. Thank you guys for the hospitality. I brought some friends. I brought Kira. I brought my dad. Joe let me actually go through once to do quality control, so thank you for that. They're going to be doing a Christmas event here in December, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. But I love the Shallow Grave. It's $25 for 2 houses. It's amazeballs. Yeah, I'm going to be name dropping like crazy, Diego. So if you don't like it, especially when I get to the thank you at the end, man, it's going to be like shot. So you're probably going to be drunk very quickly. I can't say enough about the Shallow Grave. They got shirts this year, so I'm going to rep this as much as I can. Great people. Ended up meeting a lot of the characters afterwards. Awesome people. Really great haunt. I was really looking forward to doing this one again, and I cannot wait to do it again in December. Okay. All right. So moving on to the next one. I did end up doing Zombie Outbreak. It's not a haunt per se. But if you're looking to get that little bit of a rush doing a haunted experience, Zombie Outbreak is available for you to do at any time on International Drive in Orlando. I don't remember. Was it like $20? I went. That's right. You didn't go.
Yeah, I didn't go, but it just makes me think of rule number 1, cardio.
Yeah, cardio. Yeah, I would agree with that because by the time I went through this whole thing alone, this is meant to be done with other people to cover your butt. You only get so many bullets. And you end up with a horde of zombies chasing you at the end, And right as I was about to exit, the gun was empty, and I got bit several times. Killed a lot of zombies, but it might have survived had I had other people to help me. So if you need that kind of experience, and it's, you know, the haunt off season, check out the Zombie Outbreak. It was a good time. Then I did Scream-A-Geddon. Now, unfortunately, this time period was during Hurricane Matthew. Jerk. Kira was unable to join this experience with me. She wasn't able to do this one when I went out to Dade City. I went out for their media preview, and it rained. Still had a good time. Loved all the houses except the Bedlam 3D house. Guys, if you're listening, please don't bring that house back. I'm over 3D. Stop it. Stop it. Horror Nights did a 3D house, which was Scream-A-Geddon has a 3D house, which is meh. And then even Howl-O-Scream had a 3D house. Man, let's break this trend. Let's do something new. Give it a break. Bring it back in a couple years with some fresh, you know, ultraviolet UV reactive paint. But I love their prison house. The Blackpool prison was probably one of the most horrifying things that I actually did this year. So make sure you go full interactive on that. Wasn't too... I mean, I had a good time. They made a lot of changes, made it a good time. I mean, I didn't pay for it. I mean, that always helps. But even they did drop the prices this year, especially if you got the pre-sale tickets. So I thought it was worth it. It's worth the drive. Yeah, let's go ahead and give 3D a break. We got some people talking in the chat. But this is something, you know, I think if they drop the 3D house and they bring up a new experience, I think I would like to go back next year. So I like to do other stuff. So Scream-A-Geddon was a good time. If you get a chance, check it out. And then we oh my god, Chamber of freaking Terror in Tampa. I love Shallow Grave. I love the set design of Shallow Grave. I love the scares of Shallow Grave, and they did a lot of cross promotion with Chamber of Terror. And the haunts are kind of like brother or sister haunts, I guess. Chamber of Terror was on an old World War II vessel, on an actual ship behind the Florida Aquarium. And I got a chance to talk to and name drop Courtney McIntyre, the owner, the guy that runs Chamber of Terror. Awesome guy, super nice. If you're watching Murder House, he would get that reference. And talked to some folks from there. Really cool. We went out. Kira and I were able to do this together. Make a night of it.
Oh my god, it was so amazing.
Yeah, it was so good. You want to talk? I talked earlier about some haunts not having good scares. Chamber of Terror's, holy crap, scares like crazy. Like, you want people to jump out and scare the crap out of you, this is the haunt for you. And Shallow Grave as well. The ship itself is a character on this. And I think Courtney afterwards said there are about 50 or so characters, each with their own scare. I would at least say half, if not more, of the people got me every single time.
It was just amazing to watch, because I have never seen Johnny get that scared as often in my life. Yeah. It was amazing.
They got me so good. I can't say enough about this. I don't know, but I believe that they're going to be back again. If you did not do this one this year, you have to do it next year. Like, we'll be promoting all the local haunts. I think next year I'm probably going to do more focus on the local stuff, because everybody talks about Horror Nights and everybody talks about Howl-O-Scream. So I really want people to go out and experience something different. Chamber of Terror is one of my favorite experiences this year, and it was something brand new, and I loved it. And really, really cool people. And we had a really personal experience. I mean, they sent us through just us two. They knew my name. It was you don't get when you get that kind of like attention in a haunt, it was definitely something a little extra. So thank you guys. Had a great time at Chamber of Terror.
It was amazing. Both the World War II historical geek in me and the haunt geek in me had so much fun at that event. Like, I can't wait to see what comes up next year.
Yeah. All right, so moving on. Next thing we did was Catharsis.
Ah, yes.
The first of 2 interactive theater experiences that I ended up doing, but Kira and I were able to do this one together.
Yes.
And did you get that email that I forwarded you?
Yes, because you know what's funny? I also got the same email, and by the time that I got the email that you forwarded to me, I had already filled it out and sent it back.
All right. Yeah. So Catharsis is, if you ever heard of the Republic or Penumbra when Shadows Fall, they have like this performance theater that you can sign up and be a part of. They did kind of like a haunted experience, kind of like a dark version of that. The theme was like sins and desires, sins and salvation, all this stuff. We talked about this at length on the show. I mean, we did an entire episode based on Catharsis. It looks like they're going to have... we had a good time. I'm not going to say... it took a couple days for I think it to set in. I think Kira liked it a little bit more than I did, apparently.
I'll admit, I really did. But then again, I live for stuff like that. And the fact that since it was more of a mental thing than it was more physical, that is just something that just really speaks to me. As you can tell, I like things that where you can really just let yourself go and just be immersed in everything.
Yes, Kira liked this. Now, the funny thing about Kira and I is, we've been friends for a couple of years now, but I didn't really know Kira that well before this season started, and I think Catharsis was kind of like where I turned a corner with you. I was like, I guess I know this girl a little bit better. One thing I did not mention on the episode is at one point, one of the last guys you talked to has you scream, and Kira's actual fully scream was way more impressive than mine. He made me do it twice because apparently my first scream wasn't good enough. So she loved it, but it was fun. I think I saw something for When Shadows Falls coming back. I might check that out. Ricky Brigante, name drop. Thanks for the pictures that he sent. I do want to read some of the things from the email, though, because I think this is kind of interesting. I probably will not be partaking in part 2 because it sounds a little crazy for me. But here is what was included in the follow-up email to Catharsis. Asking questions, and I'm going to go through these really quick. So here's what they want to know from you if you want to do Catharsis Part 2. Draw your own conclusions. Why did you sign up for Catharsis? What sin did you write in our guest book, the one that tempts you the most? What secret desire have you never fulfilled? Do you fear being alone? Are you in a relationship? If so, with whom? Height, weight, blood type? Shirt size, pant size. Why are they asking you for clothes size? If you have any medical conditions they should be aware of. Are you comfortable with nudity, including your own? Okay. What is your greatest fear in life? What is your biggest regret? What is your Facebook profile? Reply with link. What do you make of the picture below? And I didn't pull it, but it's somebody naked from the kind of the thigh down with some pants on the ground and a couch. And it says, good luck. We will reply to those who are interested in accepting for further examination. Not really up my alley.
I filled out all the questions and emailed it back. So we'll see.
So you let me know how that turns out for you.
Well, if I get selected, then yes, I will. But if I don't get selected, then I guess we'll never know.
So that would be kind of interesting. That we really get to know each other while running around naked with apparently having to give our blood type and crap. So a little bit too much for me personally, but Kira, let me know if you decide to go back.
Okay.
All right. Then to kind of wrap up my season, the last new experience that I did was I was able to do this. It was the Vault of Souls, and Kira was doing Tampa Bay Con stuff.
I was doing MegaCon Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that. So we're in the same area now. Vault of Souls. A lot of people can't look past the price tag, $100. This was the last episode that we did. And I absolutely raved about Vault of Souls. So name drop, Scott Swinson. Good job, buddy. Loved meeting, I can't remember her name. Carolyn Wilson, who's the owner of the building. Awesome. Thank you for the hospitality. Had a good time. Got to kind of wear a costume or at least period appropriate dress. As I said earlier, $100. I was there for 4 hours. The actual haunt part of it, which is not scary, it's more of like a mystery kind of horror type thing that they have in the basement of an old school bank that was built in 1920 something. Very neat. I would like to do this one again next year. I think I'll be better prepared. Hopefully, I won't be completely under the weather like I was this last time, because my brain wasn't firing correctly, but I still had a good time. I should have gotten more out of it, but my brain I don't think was working correctly, but had an amazing night. I felt as though I got my money's worth for the Vault of Souls. So if you guys haven't done it, I think it'll make a great date. Kind of expensive, but we'll see what happens next year. Now, I do think that they do have some plans maybe in the works to open up the speakeasy part of it year-round. It's called the Gin Joint. That would be cool to go and hang out with, and have that to do in the off-season. So let me know. Yeah, we're name-dropping like crazy. So Vault of Souls was amazing. Now, I know I got other stuff in here. Where are you? Okay, now the next part of this that we're going to talk about are some things that you can do in the off season. And it may be related to people that are involved in haunt stuff, maybe some actors that are part of shows. And I just came across this right before the show tonight, and it's actually tomorrow night. So if you are a fan of Howard the Duck, which a lot of people are, they're doing a Movies Out Loud with Jeff Jones and James Keaton. Now, if you don't know who James Keaton is, he's the guy that plays Jack the Clown for Horror Nights, and he's a really awesome individual. So that is November 9th, tomorrow, Wednesday night, and it's at 8 o'clock at the Abbey. And I might end up being there, because I haven't seen Howard the Duck in a long time, and I would really like to experience that. So it is a possibility that you may see Johnny Bronto from HauntScene there.
Have fun. Let me know how it goes. I will probably, tomorrow night, I will be doing some more sewing and cleaning, gearing up for the convention I'm going to this Saturday.
All right, feedback on the Vault of Souls. Not a good first date, because $100 is too much. Well, actually, it would be $200 if you brought somebody else. Probably not a good first date, but maybe, things are starting to work out a little bit. Maybe you want to see if you can get a little ROI, a little return on your investment. I'm just kidding. All right, so go see Howard the Duck. What's next here? Animatronicans. Now, Animatronicans is an amazing show. It was at Fringe last year. We'll talk a little bit about Fringe here in a moment, but they're doing another run here, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so people can see it. So I'm editing this on the fly because I can. And this is going to be Fridays and Saturdays, November 4th through the 19th. So only has another 11 days or so, or this weekend and I believe next weekend. I will definitely be going to this again. This show is absolutely hysterical. James Keaton also in it. Josh Siniscalco, I apologize if I'm butchering your name. The guy that played the usher when he was the icon for Horror Nights, he's also in it. Plays Abe Lincoln. And imagine the whole point of the whole point of the show is see what happens after the attraction closes. So some of these animatronics are out of work. They've got the polar bear from the Maelstrom in Norway.
Aww.
They've got the Imagination guy. They've got I don't know what the other older guy is, and they got Abe Lincoln from the Hall of Presidents. So maybe they're not all out of work.
It looks like Carousel of Progress.
Okay, Carousel of Progress could be there. And watching these guys interact with each other is hilarious, especially Abe Lincoln, because he does that kind of weird kind of motion that, the Halls of Presidents does, that little herky-jerky stuff, and he is absolutely flawless. He's a better animatronic than the animatronics are. So,
and the guy you're thinking of from Imagination, that's actually Dreamfinder.
Okay, whatever that was. But I think they're all housemates, and they have to look for jobs and stuff like that. And it was an absolutely hysterical show at Fringe, and they're doing this at let's see, where is it? $15 is a really good deal for that. Yeah, I'm definitely doing this again. Maybe I'll do it next weekend.
And I
Jeff
just got the song from Jay and
Jones.
Silent Bob Strike Back stuck in my head.
So Footlight Theater, 410 North Orange Blossom Trail. So maybe after on, OBT, you can go get some crystal or something like that. OBT. But check out the animatronicans. You will not be disappointed. It is totally worth it. All right. So go see that. All right. I'm sorry if I'm moving around too much. And then, and then in December, they have the Pieces on Earth event at the Shallow Grave. And this is going to be awesome because, we'll be about a month and a half removed from the end of the haunt season. Now, the Shallow Grave also had extended their season, or they went through this last weekend as well, but, we were at Horror Nights. It is awesome. Oh my God. This is the perfect time. If you've never been to the Shallow Grave, get there. theshallowgrave.com. Go and get tickets. Awesome haunt, awesome folks. I don't know exactly how they're going to work Christmas into the whole thing, but the title is Pieces on Earth. And then sometimes around Valentine's Day, they also do a Valentine's Day event as well. So that might be a good date. So Joe Phillips, go see those guys. Name drop.
Speaking of, if any of my Horror Nights friends wants to go, let me know. I'll totally go with you because we all know that's my type of Christmas.
Right. Hold on. Wait, whoa. How in the hell do you not know Carousel Progress? I know what the Carousel Progress is, sir. Carousel of air conditioning. It's a great place to catch a nap and to get your temperature down when you're at Disney's Tomorrowland. Yeah.
It's great big.
It's great big of air conditioning.
I love the Carousel of Progress.
I do too. It's a great place to catch some Z's and get some air conditioning. But the main guy, when he shows up and he's like, this year they invented the refrigerator. Now I don't even have to get blocks of ice or whatever. That's like a whole bad impression of him. But that guy's also in the animatronicans. So Abe Lincoln, Carousel Progress guy, Polar Bear from Maelstrom, and the Imagination guy, whatever the heck his name is.
The Dream Finder.
That guy, Dream Finder.
Yep,
Right.
No idea. I love Journey to Imagination, and I love the Dream Finder and that original incarnation of it. So
yeah, so definitely check out Pieces on Earth. And here's where I don't know what's next. Let's hit it. Okay, Foreplay. And I just confirmed this a few minutes ago. The Foreplay was a show that was at Fringe last year, and I think it's relevant to talk about tonight, with the election and all. We're not going to get super political, but it's an exploration of the birth of our nation. So it's Thomas Jefferson. Oh my God, I can't even remember the other two. Adams, and then another guy. I don't remember their exact names. Check out the show.
Adams, because there was two of them.
The one that was shot by Aaron Burr.
Okay.
That one. That Adams. So the reason I bring this up, because I'm trying to connect some off-season experiences with some actors that do other things. Because remember, these guys, a lot of the guys do the scare acting. They also do acting in different shows and plays and things. And Adam Del Monaco, which let me confirm that. If I don't mess that up. Del Medico. Sorry, Del Medico. Adam Del Medico, who also showed up in the last Bill and Ted this year as Leroy Jenkins and several other parts. It's like a fill-in. Totally epic. He's so good. He's so good as Jefferson in this. It is amazing. I have to get a picture with him in the suit. He's got the crazy like wig hair and everything, and his character is hilarious in the whole thing. So it's the birth of our nation. It's them, putting together the Bill of Rights or whatever, or the Constitution. I don't remember. But it's really funny. It's really funny. And I apologize for the lack of preparation because I just threw this one at the last second. But I know I have it somewhere. That one is going to be in January. They're doing a Fringe mini fest, and the show will only be on January 5th and January 8th. So go to the orlandofringe.org, and you can get more information about it. And in March, another thing that you can do if you're a fan of haunts, and not a lot of folks that I know do this, just a couple, the Entertainment Designers Forum is in usually late winter, early spring. And have you ever been to the Entertainment Designers Forum?
No, but I want to.
Okay. So you should definitely check this out. Now, what is this? There are two sessions. There's like an afternoon session and a later session, and they bring in like a lot of the designers from like the different haunted events and some of just the theme park events. Like they had Mike Aiello, they had J. Michael Roddy, they had other folks that are involved in this. They had James Keaton, Aaron Nicole Klein, Jack and Chance. They had a lot of folks there. Last year, I was able to get a little thing signed by Jack and Chance. They donate the money to charity. There's silent auctions for everything. I usually buy like a blueprint of something. Lots of like props from the houses and shows. Some of it gets a little pricey. Sometimes they auction off like tours. And it's not just Horror Nights. It's Howl-O-Scream. It's stuff from Disney, some original artwork. The show actually donated a reproduction of the original Fright Nights poster from the first iteration of Horror Nights, the first year. At least as we count it here, which I think made like $80 or something like that. It was pretty cool. So I may try to donate something again this year from the show. But it is a great night. I mean, tickets really aren't that much, and it's really cool to sit and then listen about the design process of some of the themed events. They do Q&A as well. Sometimes they have like Horror Night shirts and stuff like that. You know, people are basically like cleaning out their closet for all kinds of old school stuff to auction off and sell for charity. So it's a great night. It's really cool. It's the Hobnob event. Everybody who's anybody goes to the Entertainment Designers Forum. So if you're not there, apparently you're not cool enough.
It's okay. I'm cool enough to where I don't have to go.
Bronto's household is a dry country. No, I can't. Look, there was a moment today where I was like, you know what? We're going to cancel the show for tonight, and we're just going to do it on Friday night and do a drunk edition. And unfortunately, I have to work tomorrow, so I can't be drinking. So, yeah. Although I feel like I need one. Although I'm just getting over being sick. Drinking probably not a good idea.
No.
What else? Okay, in Orlando Fringe itself. In the spring, they have the Orlando Fringe, and it's independent theater. Shows are awesome. I usually end up doing like 5 or 6 shows, if not more. You will see a lot of your characters there. You'll see a lot of people walking around that have been involved with like Horror Nights or whatever. As a matter of fact, I think the first time I met Josh, the usher guy, was at Fringe. A super nice guy. They've got like food trucks. They've got my buddy, a couple of my friends were on what's called the poetry vending machine. So you can go there and like buy like a haiku or a poem or something like that. But the shows are amazing. They're just really, really good. And there's something there for everybody. And it doesn't cost a lot of money. So if you need something to do, and I'll try to give everybody a heads up on what's going on with the Fringe as far as what relates to haunt stuff. They have great shows. It's great. You buy a Fringe button, shows are like $10, and then you can go and do all kinds of stuff. And then that's where I originally saw the animatronicans. Really, really cool. Because it's smarter to make a live show during election night. I don't know, man. I'm just trying to get this season wrapped up. Don't hate. People might be watching the review. All right. It's not like people are hopefully not glued to their televisions right now watching the election, because, man, that would be depressing.
No, they would actually, if they're not glued to their TVs, they're probably glued to, another window that's open so they can see the latest play-by-play of it all. And
I'll just wait till tomorrow morning and wake up and then figure it out. All right, so what else we got? Okay, another haunt that's open year-round, Mortem Manor at Old Town. We did this one as well. I didn't put it in the original rotation of what we've done. I wanted to kind of save it towards the end. I believe that they will be open year-round, at least now. This was in the same location that the Legends of Old Town, or Legends Old Haunted Attraction was there. We did talk a little bit about this in the show. Kira's a little bit more optimistic than I was, but hey, if they bring it, if anybody goes to Mortem Manor and has a really good experience, they have an awesome FAQ right on their computer screen. I don't feel like I wasted my money or anything like that, but I think I had a huge bias because I loved Legends so much. But they did say that they were going to bring more to the Mortem Manor, so maybe they'll fill it out a little bit more so it's not so barren, and we can have a good time. So let me know if you go, and maybe I'll check it out again in another time.
Yes.
Yes. All right, what else we got? Okay, season 3. Not going to take a lot of your time here. How do I put this gently? I would love to do another season of HauntScene. I would love to absolutely do another season of HauntScene. But I don't want to do the same format. I did a previous season and I did this season, so we have a total of like 20 episodes now. So you can watch HauntScene for 20 hours. You can spend a whole day watching HauntScene. But I think if I do the show next year, because I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do it again, I would like some help. So if you have experience behind the camera, social media, Twitter, blogging, maybe you could help with camera work, photography, something like that. If I don't have some sort of assistance next year, because this is, I love you, Kira, and all, but you just show up, and she helps out with the pictures and Instagram and all that stuff, and I appreciate that.
I can, and I can only do so much.
Right, and I get that, and I'm thankful for it. But I would like to actually make next season a show, like not just show up, look at us in a window on Skype, and talk about haunt stuff. I would like to actually do a show with bits. So I maybe some comedy, maybe some fun stuff, some informational stuff. Like I think I would like to do a little comedic bit about how to interact, how the what to do and what not to do as far as interacting with characters or something like that. Maybe we can have some fun with that. Really, and call more attention to the independent haunts next year. I'm not going to be spending 3 weeks talking about Horror Nights next year. It's just not going to happen. It's going to get its own episode, I'm sure, and then we'll kind of go from there. Because I really I love Horror Nights, but I really love the independent haunts and the experience of getting to know those folks and going out and doing those. And this year I tried to make it more of like an entertainment thing, like talk about where to eat a little bit, how to really make a night out of it, because there's some really fun stuff to do that we are so blessed to have here in Central Florida that other places don't have. We'll see what happens with season 3. We'll see. I'm gonna take a break after this. After we're done here in a little bit, I'll take a few months to kind of think it over. I'm not gonna wait till 2 or 3 weeks before the season starts to figure out if I'm gonna do the show again. If I had to kind of give it a percentage, I'd say maybe about 75% sure that I'd like to do the show again. But if it's gonna be just me. And maybe if it's just gonna, if I don't have a lot of help, we'll see where we're at, okay? Because I get bored easily, so I want more. But if you watch the show last season, if you watch one episode of the last season and you watch any of the episodes this season, obviously you can see a huge change. A lot of the production has gone up. We actually have like a realistic like theme song and credits and all that stuff, and I would love to take that a step further. I had to teach myself a lot how to do like the design of this, and I'm sure it could be better. But I would like, if somebody wants to help me make the show better, if you're watching the show, give us feedback how we can better entertain you. Because I love the 5 viewers that we have right now, because we don't have a huge live audience. Most of the people check the show on the replay. But man, I would love to have like a whole show with like people interacting and commenting, and not just 2 people. As much as I love you guys, get really a lot of people involved. It's not that I don't appreciate the people that do watch the show. It's just I think it'd be more fun to have more people. The more, the merrier. So we'll see where that leads us next year. Other than that, that's about it for this episode, but we're going to go over just another thing here. So, Kira, do you have anything that you want to add to cap off the haunt season for 2016?
Oh, goodness. Put me on the spot right there. I personally want to thank you for letting me co-host. It's one of those that I knew going in, like I was going to try and do as much as I could, and I wish I could have done more. But, there is this thing called life.
Yeah. We have jobs.
Yeah, jobs, kid,
Dog.
things like that.
So.
But I just want to say a shout out to all of these characters. I interacted throughout all the haunts. It was great actually getting a chance to experience new things and making those connections. You guys are all amazing. You are hard workers. Trust me, being a performer, I know how it is. I really do. And I'm gonna miss it. So if there is a season 3, please let me know,
Yeah.
because I'm totally on board.
Yeah. I know I didn't really expect you to be here for every episode, Kira, and you were. Thank you so much. There was like this little part of me. I was like, oh my god, am I really gonna do a show by myself? Like me just talking, like that would be so boring, and us playing off each other a little bit and giving our because we have different viewpoints to a lot of things, and I think that would make the show a little bit more interesting. But thank you. Speaking of which, and I'm gonna bring up the big screen here because I want everybody to see my face, because here's where I might start crying. So HauntScene. Okay, I have to give so many thank yous here. Number one, not that I don't appreciate Kira, but there would not be a season 2. So Eric Dodson, you out there, he's the guy when I was panicking at the last moment. He's the one that actually talked me into doing the show. Between last season and this season, obviously there were some changes, and I started to panic towards the end. And it just seemed like it was all falling apart. I couldn't really get everything together. And then everything kind of came together at once. So, Eric, thank you so much. If you do anything next year, let me know. You've been really supportive of the show both seasons. I can't thank you enough. I have to thank my buddy Keegan Hamill, or Grim Gutter, for putting together the theme, which is actually really cool. We have like a theme song. Like, how many haunt shows have a theme song? That was really cool. And it was the same week that I got that song. Kira actually volunteered to be on the show as my co-host this year. So Kira, thank you so much. I could not have done this without you. And I really look forward, if we do the show again, to having you back if life allows. Thank you so much. I didn't know what to expect. Like I said in the beginning of the season, I didn't really know you, and I think if you go back and watch the first episodes, like, we're still kind of like around each other. But as the season went on, I think we started just having more fun.
Well, I also had to get used to talking as myself in front of the wonderful thing called the internet, and get over the fact that people were watching me on the internet, as creepy as that sounds.
Yeah,
They're watching.
I mean, I'm a trainer, so I do public speaking for a living, so this is like nothing for me. I could do this in my sleep.
Well, for me, it's different, because normally when I'm speaking or I'm performing, I'm in front of a live audience, or I'm at a convention. Either way, I'm dealing more with live performances.
Right.
So the fact that I don't really see an audience, and thank goodness for people who watch live and they interact, because I feed off the energy of other people. Yeah. So having that immediate feedback and having that immediate interaction, it made me feel a lot better, because I'm so used to live performances.
Yeah, and I mean, we met a ton of people this year. I gave away a lot of business cards, so if you got one for me, thank you for taking one, even if you just threw it away. I really wanted to up the production value and the brand this year. So I'm hoping next year that maybe we take that even a step further. I have lots of plans. We'll get there, see if they come to fruition. But I had a really, really good season. I'm exhausted mentally right now. It's over the moment I roll credits here. But it's a really good season. I know, right? So quick thank yous. I know I mentioned a lot of people in the show, but I'm just gonna think of everybody I can think of off the top of my head. Joe Phillips, thank you so much from Shallow Grave. Dan Caro, used to be with Legends, thank you so much for the conversation. Courtney McIntyre, Chamber Terror, you're awesome. Robbie Parsons Lepre, Howl-O-Scream. I don't think we weren't able to hook up this year, because I think she's still kind of doing like a little bit of recovery from a surgery. Godspeed. Hopefully you get better a little bit. We hope you get better and we can hook up next year. Mike Aiello from Horror Nights, thank you for taking the time a few times this year to talk to me. You are so great to talk to. He never, like a lot of people are kind of skittish about bothering like the celebrities that we have to talk to, but he always makes it feel like he's very friendly, very easy to talk to. So thank you for that. Mm-hmm. Everybody, Katie was awesome. I'm not going to give her last name because we don't like to stalk the characters. But you were awesome. You were my favorite character this year. Loved you scaring the crap out of me with Britney Spears. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you to my family, friends. I know a lot of people pitched in this year. Thank you to my mom, my dad. You guys watch the show every week. Thank you guys for that. Anybody that's given me any feedback, anybody that's commented on the show, thank you. If I left anybody out, thank you. Scott Swinson from Chamber of Terror, Carolyn Wilson, Scott Swinson, formerly of Howl-O-Scream from Vault of Souls, Ricky Brigante, Catharsis, Carolyn Wilson from the Wilson Group. Thank you for the hospitality. I just can't say enough about how awesome it was to meet you guys this year, and really that's what keeps me bringing it back. So, I know, finishing the bottle because I'm name dropping so much, but you guys make the haunt season awesome. Haunt people are the best people. They are the best people. They are so awesome. And I met so many awesome people this year. Better than any other year I've been doing haunts. This year I met so many great folks, and it makes me fall in love with the haunt scene here in Central Florida. And you know, I have plans of maybe going to Netherworld in Atlanta, trying to do West Coast Horror Nights, something like that. Knott's Berry's Farm, or whatever. I'm going to try to go out and do more stuff. We'll see about that. I'm not doing McKinney Manor, though, because that one's crazy. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Sorry for taking up a little bit of your time. I know, it's like ending now, and I'm sad.
I'm sad, too, but I still have a busy schedule with working on stuff for conventions. I've already started updating my own personal page with everything going on over there. So, yeah.
All right, fine. Diego, I said everybody that comments. I don't want to start calling people out when they're commenting on the thing.
Diego,
but thank you for
you're
the
amazing.
Support.
Thanks for hanging out with me during Halloween Horror Nights, Diego.
Yeah. So, thank you. Finish that bottle. Apparently he got drunk on me name dropping this year. All the characters, Roger Allen, all you guys, you're all amazing. Thank you for so much for everything this year. So with that, we're going to go ahead and roll credits and then wrap up this season. Hopefully we'll be able to see you guys next season for season 3 of HauntScene. So stay tuned. I may put out something every once in a while on Instagram or Twitter. But we are going to go in hibernation for at least a little bit. So, love you guys. Thank you so much for everything you've done. Thank you, everybody, so much. So, we're going to go ahead and roll credits. So, until next season, I want everybody here watching to spook easy.
And happy haunting.
All right. Good night, everybody. Be safe. Take care of yourselves. And we'll see you next season. Thank you.